Welcome to Grit, the Real Estate Growth Mindset podcast, hosted by Brian Charlesworth, founder of Sisu. Sisu provides growth automation software for real estate. You'll hear stories from real estate thought and technology leaders, team owners, and brokers on how they grew their business in a rapidly changing industry. You'll learn how to transform your brokerage and teams into a high-performing and analytics-driven business so you have a new, durable, competitive advantage against disruption in your market. So let's get right into it.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Charlesworth. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we have Jeff Cohn with us, and I'm super excited about this. Jeff is the CEO of Elite Real Estate Systems and Omaha's Elite, and a number of other businesses which we'll get into today. But Jeff just made a big announcement this week at KW's FutureCon that he is leaving as the #1 team of BHHS, that's Berkshire Hathaway, and moving over to KW. So this is pretty big news today. So I'm super fortunate to be able to have Jeff on our show today. How's it going, Jeff?
Hey, Brian. Hey, I'm really grateful to be here today. And of course, Brian, we've had a long relationship, and I'm a huge believer and user in Sisu. And it's obviously changed the landscape of our business, and I believe will continue to change the landscape of the realtor and other businesses going into this next decade here in a couple of weeks from now.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks. We love having you as a customer, and I know we've worked really closely with your team, so excited about that. But today I really want to focus on just your vision of the future of real estate. I want to talk about, let's start off by just hitting it head on.
So before we jumped on, I told Brian I want him to give me all the hard questions today. I really want you to challenge me. I'm going to share this with my audience as well, Brian, of listeners. And, for the last 4 years, I've been trying to create the best content and value for team leaders and broker owners across the country, aspiring to do more business, to live bigger lives. And in that 4 years, I've continued to grow, obviously, myself and look for different ways where I can better empower those within my different businesses that I own. And it's led me to this point where I started seeing some patterns that were really scary to me. And that is the advancement in technology is going to be and is challenging the individual real estate agent's role in the transaction, which is going to essentially cause the residential real estate agent's commissions to go down. And so Gary Keller says it best. He says he believes the agent should continue to be at the center or the core of the transaction as the fiduciary, and that technology should help support that. Whereas most tech companies and the disruptors in the industry think it the opposite. They think that it should be a tech-empowered consumer where the agent's just simply the secondary to help open a door or write a contract. And I think that we're under attack by innovative companies that are out there whose goal is to essentially eliminate the agent's commission so that they can earn that commission, essentially by taking it away from the agent. And so for me, as I researched the top brokerages in the country, I think Keller Williams is the obvious choice for someone who knows that over the next 10 years, they want to continue to offer the best value to the consumer and to the agent and stay at the center of the real estate transaction.
Yeah, I mean, sure, there are a lot of companies out there, Jeff, that have been fighting the real estate agent for a long time, right? There are also a lot of companies out there today, such as Sisu, who are pro-agent, such as KW, everything they're building, pro-agent in supporting the agent. And I think technology, although some people could view it as it's hurting the real estate agent, I think many and people like you view it as it's actually helping the real estate agent. I mean, how many teams across the country now, like yourself, are doing over $100 million in volume because they leverage technology?
Of course. Yeah, that didn't exist. When I launched the team in 2011, I went across the country, as you already know, and visited 50 different brick and mortar offices within a 24-month period. And not very many were doing over 100 million. Today, you can count on all 20 fingers and toes teams doing over 100 million. There's tons of teams that do that type of volume, and there's no way possible anyone could have done that without the advent of CRM tools and tools like Sisu and database management software and all that fun stuff.
Okay, so again, you told me I can ask you the hard questions. You're going over to KW. You just told me it's because of technology. I know for a fact you utilize Boomtown, you utilize Sisu, you've been utilizing .loop, now moving over to KW. From what I know, you're moving over to DocuSign now.
Yep.
So talk to me about that, and where does Command play into that? Is
Yeah.
Command ready to go today?
Obviously, so Command is ready for the individual right now. We obviously will adopt Command day one. We will not fully integrate into Command until it's ready for mega teams. It's Gary Keller himself told me Command is not ready right now for mega teams, but it's coming. There are a lot of components that are working right now that we can take advantage of. So I recommend to any entrepreneur out there, don't ever jump ship from one to the next and put all of your eggs into one basket. I just say, put your eggs in both baskets and manage the baskets. So we'll run everything we have built up to this point parallel with all of the different value adds that Keller Williams offers. And then if we need to adopt something 100% one way or the other, we will. We're going to do what's best for our agents and the consumer. So I believe, though, the investment that Keller Williams is making, especially in their platform, in Command, will ultimately, in the end, be the platform that a majority of residential teams will adopt across the country, independent of what brokerage flag you fly. I think Keller Williams will partner with RE/MAX, will partner with Berkshire, and those companies will keep their names and say powered by KW technology. So it doesn't really matter what brokerage you're at in the end. It just matters what technology you're using and who's going to win in the tech race. I don't see Zillow essentially letting brokerage fly their flag and say empowered by Zillow. I see Zillow becoming a giant brokerage shop and agents working for $20,000 a year to go open doors.
Well, Zillow is already one of the largest brokerage shops. I mean, if you look at what Zillow and Realtor.com are doing, they're charging 35% to hand off leads, which, referral fees have always been 25%. Now it's acceptable. They're 35% because a lot of agents are afraid to generate their own leads, right?
Well, and Brian, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg is what happens once they figure out the entire referral network. Agents are now living and breathing off of these referrals, and they say, hey, we're no longer going to offer the 35%. We're going to offer you $20,000 a year to work these leads, and then a $50 bonus per converted transaction. That's what it'll end up moving to. Every sales organization in America starts with big commissions, then there's a cap, then it turns into salary with small bonuses. And honestly, if you just need someone to go open a door, which is what all the value is that I feel like they're giving the agent, that they're there just to open a door and write up a purchase agreement, then why not just pay somebody $20,000 a year? This is the reason why agents need to be worried and be focused on how can they better serve the consumer to save them time and money in the transaction.
Okay, so do you really believe that that's all they're doing is opening a door?
Of course I don't.
Writing a purchase agreement?
I'm being facetious, but I do believe that tech-empowered businesses that don't put the agent at the center as the fiduciary only see the agent's value as the person carrying that real estate license in that state that needs to open a door. The consumer should be smarter. Not every agent is considered equal. I would say as we look into the next 10 years, out of the 1.7 million agents there are today, I think only about 20% will still be in the business in 10 years from now. And out of the ones that are still in the business, there will be two groups. Half of the groups will be like you and me. There'll be business entrepreneurs that run teams and run small boutique brokerages that the consumer still uses. The other 50% will be salaried employees to these big box brokerage shops that are tech empowered with the agent as the secondary.
Okay, so in your opinion, what is the value of the agent?
100% it's to save the consumer time and money all day long. So obviously we do that in a lot of different ways, but it all boils down to where will you make or save the most amount of money in the least amount of time in the least amount of energy. I know 100%, Brian, if you came to Omaha, Nebraska today and worked with me to purchase $1 million house that you're going to use as a VRBO during the College World Series, that I, Jeff Cohn, working with you from start to finish, would save you probably 15% off that million. I'd save you 150,000. Where if you went on to, Craigslist or Zillow offer or whatever and went to buy a property without doing a ton of research, you probably are going to lose that 15%. It's not always the case. Sometimes the value isn't in the money, and sometimes money's not the consumer's number one thing. Maybe it's terms. Maybe you want to come to Omaha and you want the house this weekend. How are you going to find a house right now that you can close on right now? So it just depends on what's important to the consumer. But for most people, it's saving time and money.
Well, I think you just convinced me to come to Omaha and pick up a home that I can rent 1 week of the year.
Let's do it. I'll use it the other 51 weeks.
I love it. So you just said something, Jeff, about you think that companies, or I don't know if you really think this, but you said that companies like RE/MAX will someday and Berkshire Hathaway will someday use KW's technology and say powered by KW. I happen to 100% disagree with you.
Okay, good.
Here's why, right? Remax has their Bouge CRM that they just rolled out. And I know it's because we work with a lot of Remax agents as we do KW agents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Berkshire Hathaway or teams. And, I know Bouge is struggling today to really get live, just similar to Command. But they are building their own CRM, right?
Sure.
In addition to that, in speaking with the leaders at Berkshire Hathaway several times, I know they have spent, I don't know how many millions, but millions and millions and millions of dollars on building a Salesforce platform, right?
Yep.
Which was supposed to be off the ground this March. So maybe you can give me an update on, I don't know where that's at today.
No,
I know it was supposed to have been rolled out this March. So
Yeah.
give me an update on those technologies.
So
And
let me rebut quickly. I want people to disagree with me all day long. It makes for great conversation. So there was a big war that I was a part of back in the 2000s, and correct me if I'm wrong on the dates, but it was a war with Blu-ray versus HD video. And I don't even know if it's called HD video, but it was a different formatting system. In the end, Blu-ray ended up winning the battle. And, you look at like Laserdisc. There's other products out there that were better, but in the end, Blu-ray ended up winning that whole battle. And you look at the technologies that are serving the agents and the consumer. And I think one of the reasons KW will win is because they're the only company I know of that's building a technology and saying, we're going to make this available for everyone. We're not just going to keep it to our own brokerage. We believe this technology can plug and play anywhere. I haven't heard another brokerage saying that.
Okay,
I've heard Zillow saying that.
So thanks for sharing that. That's new to me. As you know, I live and am married to a KW agent, and I have never heard that. So anyway, very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard that they're going to take that out to the public.
And you know what? Maybe it's never been said publicly, but I've had some pretty high-level conversations with high-level people recently. And I posed this very question, and I said, well, what if, Keller Williams technology, because KW used to be known for a coaching and consulting company that served agents. Now they call themselves a technology company that does coaching and consulting that serves agents. But of course, as a tech company, you can serve a lot of different businesses, just like as we know with Sisu. And so I asked certain people that are high up in leadership at Keller Williams, I said, well, what happens when the consumer is demanding the Keller Williams technology, but you have people with too big of egos to join Keller Williams, which there's a lot of people out there like that, or they just don't like whatever the Keller Williams name or the colors or whatever their issues are. And I said, why not sell KW technology to all of the other competitors that want to take advantage of the technology and let them keep their name? And they said, that's exactly what our plan will be.
So that would go against the typical grain of KW, and that KW for the last, I don't know how many years, 20 years, about probably is how long they've had the MAPS program. And MAPS coaching, which really has set KW apart, has never offered coaching to anybody outside of KW. So somebody outside of KW is obviously going with Tom Ferry or Mike Ferry or Elite Real Estate Systems, right?
Right.
So
anyway, that I don't believe is the case today. I'm friends with MAPS coaches that coach outside of KW, coach agents that are outside of KW.
Really?
They have a coaching program right now that's being beta tested that coaches not even just in real estate. They coach all of their businesses. It's an entrepreneurial business MAPS coaching beta.
Yeah.
I believe MAPS will be offered outside of the Keller Williams space eventually, but time will tell.
Yeah, so I probably tend to agree with that. We have a lot of MAPS coaches that actually utilize Sisu to manage and coach their teams. Mm-hmm. And I know there are some major changes going on there right now. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
Sure. And the bottom line for anyone listening is, I have been at Berkshire for 5 years. Prior to that, I was at an indie brokerage for another 8 years. So I've been in the business 13 years total. And we're now coming over to Keller. I want to always be focused on two things. Number one is my agents, serving the agent, helping them make the most amount of money in the least amount of time with the least amount of energy, helping them become their best self. And then number two is obviously the consumer. So we got to look at both. Too often I hear people talking about traditional brokerage models, and they never speak about how that model serves the consumer. They only speak about how it serves the broker, how it serves the owner, maybe how it serves the agent, but you rarely hear people talking about both. And to me, if you want to continue making money over the next 10 years in the real estate space, you better start focusing on the consumer and how the technology within the brokerage where you work better serves the consumer, because we each get to cast a vote. And that vote is, what business do we believe is going to be at the top in the next 5 to 10 years? And the brokerage brand you're aligning with into the next decade is the vote you're casting. So if you're at Remax, if you're at Redfin, if you're at Wobbly Hobbly LLC Realty, whatever it's called, I don't really care. The question is just, is that the best place to serve the consumer and the agent for the next 5 to 10 years? And I believe it's Keller Williams.
Yeah. Okay. So the brokerage brand, I also think the technologies that you choose are going to make a difference in that. And you're saying that KW's is a part of that. So what other than technology drove you to KW? Because my guess is if it was just technology, you probably would have waited a year or two. So what other benefits are there of you?
Yeah.
making the move
Number
from
one
Berkshire
is,
to
I'll tell you
KW?
the total truth. And number one is expanding our ancillary businesses footprint across the country. So I own mortgage, title, insurance, investing, coaching, call center. I have all these different business ventures, and we're serving as many people as we can, but we haven't been able to expand as fast as we want to help provide this value add to team leaders and brokers across the country. Inside of the ecosystem at Keller Williams, I believe it's much more accepting of ancillary businesses. So agents within the brokerages can own mortgage, insurance, they can have an investment wheel. And so our coaching company, Elite Real Estate Systems, is going to be expanding into 100 different locations, not just expansion teams, but also expansion mortgage companies, expansion insurance companies, and expansion investment companies, with Omaha, Nebraska's KW Elite location serving as the hub. So everything I'm already doing at a local level, I've always known I wanted to eventually take that and make that a value add to my listeners, to my coaching clients, to my friends all across the United States. And we now have the vehicle to be able to do that. And we felt that by doing it inside of the Keller Williams world, rather than being outside of the Keller Williams world, would be a benefit.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Jeff has a big focus, and I actually met Jeff at an event where he was doing this. He has a big focus in helping other people grow their businesses. He has a coaching company, he has an investment company, loves to teach people how to do that. So Jeff has done an amazing job of stepping outside of the business and really working on the business instead of in the business. And now it sounds like, Jeff, you're taking that to 100 locations across the country. So you're planning on being in Omaha's Elite Real Estate Systems and your investment arm.
We retired the jersey. So Omaha's Elite's gone. We left #1 team at Berkshire Hathaway in the world. Okay. And we are born January 1st, 2020 as KW Elite. The hat's just my coaching company. I don't have the KW Elite hats yet. But KW Elite launches next year. And our goal is to have the KW Elite footprint in every city in America. 100 is nothing. I mean, it's going to be thousands of expansion locations. But when people hear the word expansion, they think that I'm saying I want to own a real estate team. I don't want to own any of anyone's real estate teams. You guys keep your teams. What I want to do is I want to partner with you in mortgage and insurance and investing. That's where the money's at. And so we talked about the agent commission getting challenged, Brian, going into this next 5 to 10 years. What better way to offset the losses that we will all incur as the agent commission gets challenged by creating ancillary businesses that serve the consumer? Every one of your clients buying a home, not everyone, 99% need a mortgage. Why not own a percentage of a mortgage company? Every one of them needs property and casualty insurance. Why not own a percentage of property and casualty company? Every one of those people in most states is going to need an attorney or a title and escrow company. Why not own a percentage of a title and escrow company? So all of these things I've already done. I just haven't been able to create a vehicle that would allow people nationally to partner with me. I have that today. So if you're a mega team and you're interested in learning more about these opportunities, don't hesitate to reach out to me, Jeff at omahaselite.com.
Okay, so now I can come to you, and way more than just learning how to grow my real estate business, I can learn how to grow all the ancillary businesses, and not only learn how to do that, but I can partner with you, Jeff Cohn, who just changed his hat to KW Elite on my show. I'm so impressed by that. But I can come to you and partner with you all across the country. Is that correct?
Yep. And you can pick which business you want to partner in. It can be just investing. It could be just mortgage. It could be just insurance. It could be just helping you expand your real estate team. And we have different ways we've set up each of those events monetarily. And get ready for this. You don't have to be at Keller Williams. You can be at any brokerage
That was
brand
my
in
next
America.
question. So do I have to be a KW agent?
Of course you don't. No way. Why would you have to be a KW agent? The way I view the world is that it's a world of people all across the land. And why can't all of those people, independent of the flag you fly, be part of all of these ancillary businesses that are going to bring value to the consumer and to the agent? It's nonsensical. We need to get away from a scarcity mindset. We need to be focused on an abundant mindset. And if we don't work together, we're all going to lose. And so this is the solution, I believe, that's going to be necessary. This is the guerrilla warfare that's going to be necessary to stay necessary and at the center and the fiduciary in the real estate transaction over the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay. So Jeff, the reason I started this podcast was really because I wanted to really help real estate team owners take their business to the next level. And the advice that I'm hearing from you right now, if I'm a real estate team owner, how I take my business and my life to the next level, free up my time, make more money, enjoy life better, live the Jeff Cohn style. The way I do that is get into ancillary businesses. Is that correct?
100%. That is the number one place you should be. You can 3x your net returns that you had in 2019 without selling any additional homes than what you sold in 2019 by partnering with us in all of these different ventures. 3x. Okay. You made 200 grand, you'll make 600. You made $1 million, you'll make 3 million. Now, obviously, don't hold me legally to that. It could be a little bit of a variant, but ultimately it will be, instead of averaging 2.8%, which the average agent makes across the country, 2.8%, you'll be over 6%, maybe over 7%. But where the real money is, push all of the ancillaries I talked about aside. The money's in investing. So all of our disposable income, we're right now reinvesting into residential real estate and multifamily. So we want to work with these teams to obviously expand their footprint, help their team sell more houses, help serve those agents that are on those teams, launch the ancillary mortgage and insurance. We're not doing title. We're not expanding title, but we will coach you on how to do it. And then in the end, in the markets where we want to deploy capital, we want to build our investment footprint by partnering with these teams. And that's where the legacy wealth is going to really be created for agents and brokers listening to this.
Okay. So if I'm starting an investment company to buy houses, if I partner with you, what does that look like, Jeff? Are you going to give me money to buy these houses, or what does that look like?
I'm going to, so anyone listening to this, to know exactly what that looks like, I have a 32-minute interview with my business partner, Clint Bartlett. It's at the Team Building Podcast website, on iTunes. Just go to the Team Building Podcast with Jeff Cohn. And I interview Clint Bartlett. And Brian, you've met Clint. And we talk all about our investment strategy. But in a nutshell, we buy 100 houses a year in Omaha. We spend $20,000 a month generating leads. We have a lead scrubbing team, a call center. We source all the leads for our acquisition managers in Omaha. So now if I want to go to Kansas City or Miami or Sacramento, I don't have the acquisition managers and boots on the ground. I wouldn't have to have acquisition managers, but I figured why not partner with teams who I'm already partnering with for mortgage and insurance and to teach them how to expand their team? Why not partner with them and give them the ability to invest in real estate as well? So there's going to be 3 options. Option 1 is we do pretty much everything and they keep a really small percentage of the acquisition. Option 2 is they pay for everything and do most everything and we keep a small percentage. And then option 3 is going to be a little bit of a hybrid of both where we go 50-50 into everything. So the goal is that the team leader that partners with us will own equity in the portfolio that we build with them. So Brian, let's say we wanted to do this in Salt Lake. We maybe would own an LLC together 50-50. We would spend $10,000 a month to generate leads into Salt Lake City. We'd use all of my marketing and best practices.
We would use your marketing and money, or we would use 50-50.
Anything financials 50-50.
50-50.
But
okay.
We'd use my people and my processes, and we'd use your people and your processes on the other end. Because I need human beings, human capital on the ground in these areas. So we'd use Spring's team. Spring is Brian's wife. And we'd have an acquisition manager. All of our leads went to this one person and they'd go on the appointments. If 70% of the leads we generate are traditional. So if it's traditional, we're going to charge you 35%. We're just going to match whatever Zillow charges. So they're going to get a lead and they're going to pay us a 35% referral fee. We'll let your brokerage keep a small percentage of that. And then if it's an acquisition that we're going to do a long-term hold or a flip, whatever capital event that takes place, we would then just split that 50-50. If we hold the property, we'll hold it in our LLC name and we would own those properties 50-50. It's a total no-brainer. I mean, we already have this set up with a ton of investors in Omaha. We just haven't moved into other markets, and we're going to choose the markets specific to market trends. If you read, you've read the book Shift, Hold, Flip. We're not going to go start buying in areas where they're at the top of the market. We'll wait till they crash. But in Omaha, we're buying homes right now at 35% below market value. I'm closing on houses with no money down because I have lending vehicles that don't require money if I can show after the appraisal that we bought it for less than 20%. So we've built like a $6 million book of business portfolio in the last 2 years with hardly any money in. I owe $5 million on it. It's fully leveraged at about 80%. Mm-hmm. But we ask ourselves, what's our greatest limitation? Why wouldn't we do this all across the country? And what would the number of homes need to be to get you really excited? And I decided 100X factor. So why do 100 homes when we can do 10,000 homes? And so I told Gary that was my goal. And he said, why not do it in the Keller Williams world, in the Keller Williams ecosystem? I said, let's go.
So is Gary going to help you build that business, or is there a benefit to being at KW in doing that?
Gary absolutely is going to help me from a mentor standpoint. I think there might be opportunities. KW Financial, they have KW Mortgage. There will be opportunities if I feel like I need that, but I don't know that we will.
Yeah. Okay.
I like right now we could do the deal I just talked about in Salt Lake. You and I could do that. I wouldn't need Gary Keller to do that.
Yep. So it sounds to me like you're actually building an empire that you want $1 billion in assets, just like Grant Cardone. Is that? I mean, is that the direction you're heading there? And
we will
really
100% have $1 billion in assets in the next 10 years. And we will never be able to do this ourselves. So we're looking to leverage the relationships we have nationally, but instead of going super wide and having 10,000 clients, like most coaching companies probably aspire to do, our goal is to go very narrow and find 100 business partners, 100 Brian and Springs that want to partner with us, and they can pick what they want to partner in. But ultimately, everything points towards investing in single family and multifamily real estate. And so that's what gets everybody jacked and excited. And that's the thing nobody's doing. And they're looking back in the last 20 years going, holy cow, if in 2008 I had put $1 million into the market, I'd be worth $5 million today. And then looking back at the last shift that was before that one, another shift is coming, and we need to position ourselves through this next shift in such a way that will allow us to become successful together.
Okay. Well, that's really exciting, Jeff. I know you have a hard stop right now. So just to wrap up, I think there was a lot there. You're going to have a lot of people who are going to want to partner with you on this. How do they get a hold of you?
Yeah. So right now I'm asking that everyone just emails me. This is all really new, you guys. I didn't expect I was going to announce I was going to Keller this early. We thought it would happen early, like probably at family reunion, but FutureCon came up, which was a tech conference. It was their inaugural event. And they said, hey, do you want to tell the world at the FutureCon event? And I said, no better time. So I will have a portal where people can come in and essentially subscribe to partner with us. And it'll have a series of questions to see if you're a good match now or if you'll be a match later. And we're going to build all that out in HubSpot. I don't have it built out yet. So please, I'm sorry if I take a long time to get back to you, but you will get a response. Just email my personal email, jeff@omahaselite.com. I know it's going to probably be inundated, and that's okay. If you are interested in partnering with us in any of these ventures, reach out to me. It doesn't matter what brokerage brand you're at. What matters is that you're the type of person that's actually going to go do it. Don't message me because you need someone to hold your hand. Message me because you believe that I will help you be the vehicle to accomplish your dreams.
Okay, awesome. Well, Jeff, congratulations. I don't know that I really congratulated you on this show, so congratulations on your new move. And thanks for sharing it first with our audience, why you're making this move. And really what I love about your style is you want to help anybody in any brokerage grow their business and their life. And so
I don't care about the flags. Yeah. I'm not into that. That's never been my thing. I'm into helping people change their lives. So if where you are today isn't changing your life, you need to go somewhere else.
All right, Jeff. Well, keep up the great work. Best of luck to you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Brian.
So there you have it. Thank you for joining us on our podcast. If you have an interest in a free 7-day trial of Sisu, make sure that you use the coupon GRIT That's GRIT, to waive all your setup fees and receive a 10% discount on your subscription. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast and want to subscribe, search GRIT, the Real Estate Growth Mindset Podcast, on iTunes. And with that, we'll catch you next time. Take care.